You are Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It was a special day at the Garden, as is every Martin Luther King Day. Knicks and Hawks, physical battle, playoff-like atmosphere, and the Knicks emerge victorious. Final score 119-110 as the Knicks finally beat the Hawks. They bounce back after Friday night's loss to Minnesota at the Garden. As we said, playoff game atmosphere at the Garden today. Lots of turnovers, lots of fouls, lots of physicality. Let's break it all down. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Knicks postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The postcast, which is what this is, gives you a place to hang out after every single Knicks game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We'll break down the day for Jalen Brunson. Once again, a game high. He pumped in 34 to lead the way. The Knicks have alternated win-loss since the end of the 9-game win streak. So Knicks are certainly lacking consistency at the very least. All that coming up on the postcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now's the perfect time to join. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. No need to win to get the bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. And before we get started, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. Once again, LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. As we said, a rough and tumble game today at the Garden. 119-110, the final score. Mike Breen said it multiple times, and Clyde agreed. Playoff-like atmosphere. And what's interesting, and we'll get into the standings as we usually do, what's interesting is, as of right now, the 3-6 matchup in the first round of the playoffs would be the Knicks and the Hawks. Knicks currently in the 3 spot in the standings in the East. And of course, Atlanta now number 6. Knicks are 28-16 overall, 14-8 at home. Obviously, Trae Young, public enemy number 1 as it pertains to Knicks and their fans. Well, he was pretty good tonight. Trae Young in 35 minutes had 27 points. Also had 6 assists, 3 steals, a block, and 3 rebounds, obviously doing it all. However, the story, at least in regards to best individual performances, would be Jalen Brunson. Once again, Brunson in 39 minutes, 12 of 18 from the floor. Talk about efficient. He had 34, which of course was a game high. 12 of 18, as we said, from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3, 7 or 11 from the line. So incredibly efficient work from Jalen Brunson. We saw technicals left and right tonight. Karl Anthony Towns getting a technical, several technicals on Atlanta. So it really was a playoff-like atmosphere, if you will. I know we've said it multiple times, but it really felt, especially with the officiating, it really felt like a physical Eastern Conference round 1 game, which, as we said, would be the matchup right now. So perhaps a playoff preview. Obviously, things will change over the next 3 months, but it would be interesting. Now, as for the rest of the starters, only OG did not finish in double digits with points. He had 8, only took 4 shots. However, he played 41 minutes. And we talked about minutes per game. Bridges and Hart 1-2 in the league, OG in the top 10. But again, he played 41 minutes and took only 4 shots Amazing stuff from OG. However, he certainly made his presence felt on the defensive end, which he does so well. 9 rebounds, including 2 offensive rebounds. So he really has been good at the hustle plays for a good stretch now. And considering the offense has not been there for Anunoby of late, we'll take all the defense we can get. Mikal Bridges stepped up. Very efficient game from him as well. 12 of 17 from the floor, had 26 points. He played only 27 minutes. And as we said, Bridges at 38.8 tops in the league, minutes per game. He is still almost a minute and a half clear of the second spot, which is Josh Hart. Hart at 37.5, which of course is second in the NBA. Josh Hart played 37 rugged minutes today. Hart had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. We'll get to the turnover situation coming up because it wasn't pretty if you're an Atlanta Hawk. So kudos to the Knicks defense, which finally showed up. We've talked about the struggles of the defense of late, especially as it pertains to a defensive-minded head coach in Tom Thibodeau. But again, the Knicks played tough. It was physical. As we said, several technical fouls, 21 personal fouls on Atlanta, also 21 on the Knicks. So we had 42 fouls, which obviously speaks to the physicality of the game. Trae Young had 27. 7 Hawks had double figures in points, including DeAndre Hunter off the bench with 22. Clint Capella had 12. Now, as for the plus minus, and we talk about it, a close game, so the numbers are not going to be high or low. In fact, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, who played as tough as anyone, were minuses tonight. -4 for Brunson, -3 for Josh Hart. All that means nothing if you get the win, which is exactly what happened. Karl Anthony Towns, talk about efficient. Well, he was the opposite of efficient tonight. Really had nothing working on the offensive end. He hit 1 3-pointer, took 6 of them. He was 5 of 18 from the floor in 37 minutes, scored just 13 points. In fact, he has played now 39 games, has Cat. He's missed 4. We'll get to the results of the 4 games. He has missed 4, 34 double-doubles in those 39 games. So again, he has been dependable, efficient, and productive. Well, he wasn't really any of those things tonight, at least not offensively. On the defensive end, made his presence felt again. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and a block, and only had 1 turnover. Again, the Knicks are 2-3 without Towns in the lineup. He had 34 double-doubles coming in and did not get one tonight. As we said, Karl Anthony Towns had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. The Knicks actually had 3 guys finish with 9 rebounds tonight. Amazing stuff. OG had 9, Cat had 9, and Josh Hart had 9. Every Knick who played today had a rebound. Amazing stuff on the defensive end as well. All right, the Knicks have given up at least 100 points in 12 of their last 13 games. Now, they gave up 110, but if you saw the game and watched the intensity of the defense, you'd be proud. So we're going to throw that stat out. The Knicks have not won back-to-back games since the end of the winning streak. We told you that earlier, and it needs to be discussed. Inconsistency. As we said, the Knicks won 9 in a row through December, then lost 3 in a row. Okay, so since win in Toronto, loss Oklahoma City, win Milwaukee, loss Detroit, win Philadelphia, loss Minnesota, win Atlanta. So the Knicks will try to win back-to-back games for the first time this month, for the first time this year, and for the first time since their 9-game win streak was snapped. Now, the Knicks bench has outscored the opponent just 5 times this season, fewest in the NBA. Knicks got pretty good production from the bench tonight. Cam Payne had 10 points in just 12 minutes. he's seen his minutes come down as campaign, especially of late. What's interesting is he's actually been more efficient of late, scoring more points in fewer minutes. He obviously has the three ball in his corner. He hit 3 3-pointers tonight. His only field goals tonight were 3 3-pointers and hit a free throw for his 10 points. Deuce McBride had 9. Landry Shamet actually played 10 minutes. He's been did not play the last 2 games, so his minutes coming down as well. And you can tell the Knicks are tired. The Knicks are beat up. And it's just the style that Tibbs likes to play. So you either better get used to it or continue to complain, which, of course, does nothing. Which is funny because Mikal Bridges tonight, who leads the NBA minutes per game, played just 27 minutes. And if you're thinking, well, maybe he was in foul trouble, he had just 3 fouls tonight. 26 points in 27 minutes for Mikal Bridges, who, again, leads the NBA minutes per game. All right, we'll talk about the assists numbers because those are very important. We'll tell you how many assists the Knicks had tonight because usually when they reach this benchmark, they win. Tonight is no different. We'll do that coming up next. All right, basketball season is heating up, and there's no better way to get real money action while watching your favorite NBA stars than with Prize Picks. Whether you're a diehard fan or just love some friendly competition, Prize Picks makes it fun and easy to turn your basketball knowledge into cash. Here's how it works. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Think LeBron's going to drop 30? Or maybe Luka's going to get more than 8 assists? Prize Picks lets you make your predictions and put your money where your mouth is in just 60 seconds. I've been using Prize Picks all season, and let me tell you, it's addictive. Last week, I picked Jason Tatum for more than 29, Anthony Edwards for more than 25. That's the kind of action I'm talking about. And with Prize Picks Flex Play option, even if one of my picks doesn't hit, I can still double my money. Plus, once I do hit, I get my money fast, sometimes as quick as 15 minutes. It's honestly the best way to keep the game exciting. Now's the perfect time to join. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. No need to win to get the bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, we are back. Segment number 2 of the Knicks postcast as Trae and the Hawks came to town and the Knicks spoiled the fun. The Hawks, of course, eliminated the Knicks the last time they met in December from the NBA Cup. And we can't forget about the rolling of the dice at center court by Trae Young after that win, telling everybody that he's going to Vegas and nobody from New York is. Well, Jalen Brunson had multiple opportunities, if you will, to talk some trash. He was asked about it before the game, was asked about it after the game, and he was pretty non-committal, at least on bashing Trae Young, because Brunson did it with the win column instead. That's how you get back at Trae Young. You win the game. And that's exactly what the Knicks did. By the way, the Hawks now 22-20, 11-13 away. So the Knicks cruising towards some home court advantage, which is obviously well in the future. But again, if a team like Atlanta comes knocking, despite the fact that Trae Young is awesome, that's a below 500 road team. And the Knicks are very comfortable at home at 14-8. So that obviously plays into how important these final 40 games are. All right, we talked about the assist game, and the benchmark for the Knicks usually is 30. And guess what? They did it again. The Knicks dished out 31 assists, and that's the benchmark. When they get 30-plus assists in a game, they are 16-1 now. Amazing stuff. When the Knicks dish, they don't lose. Such is the case against the Hawks on Monday afternoon. All right, Jalen Brunson, who we mentioned, pumped in 34. He led all scores. Josh Hart also played significant minutes, 37 in fact, and another Josh Hart stat line, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 fouls, and a -3. That's Josh Hart to a T. The Hawks had beaten the Knicks 3 straight times before today. And what's also interesting is using the first and third quarters as gauges for the rest of the game. Now, as for the first quarter, we've told you about the success of the Knicks when they're leading after one. Today doesn't pertain because they were trailing after one. Atlanta led the Knicks after one, 27-26. So we'll throw this stat out, despite the fact that it doesn't pertain to today. The Knicks, when leading after the first quarter, 17-3. So a good start is key. Now to the third quarter, where the Knicks are incredibly efficient at turning a third quarter lead into a victory. And that's what they did. That was by far their strongest quarter. They outscored Atlanta in the third frame, 40-27. They took a lead, and they did not relinquish that lead. They outscored Atlanta 25-21 in the fourth and pulled away late. Really impressive finishing skills, if you will, by the Knicks, 119-110. Campaign had 10 off the bench. Deuce McBride had 9 off the bench. Precious Achiuwa played 17 minutes off the bench. Obviously, with Karl Anthony Towns back in the lineup, that means Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims are less likely to get more minutes. In fact, Sims didn't even play today, did not play. All right, Jalen Brunson with his 15th 30-point game of the season. When he wants to put in 30, he does. He put in 34 here. And again, as we said, his 15th 30-point game of the season. As a Knick, he's now pumped in 30 in 68 games. He is screaming up that all-time Knick list of 30-point games. Again, 2.5 years he's been a Knick. 68 times he scored at least 30. Impressive stuff from Jalen Brunson. The Knicks defense also did it statistically because they forced turnovers like no one's business. They forced 23 Atlanta Hawk turnovers, 13 of those in the very first half, the most by a Knick opponent in a half this season. Again, 13 in the first half, 23 for the game. So 10 in the second half. Really amazing stuff. By the way, for what it's worth, they didn't win, so this could be a reason why, but Trae Young had 9 turnovers tonight. The Knicks really were special on the defense. Multiple turnover games on the Atlanta side for 6 players. 6 players had at least 2 turnovers. Again, they committed 23. They had just 23 assists. 6 of them from Trae Young. Amazing, amazing stats to back up, 1, how brutally physical it was today, but 2, more importantly, how strong the defense was for the Knicks. We'll take our second break of the postcast. And again, a 119-110 look at the game tonight. As we said, Knicks and Hawks would actually play in the first round of the NBA playoffs if the playoffs started today. But guess what? They don't. We still have half a season to play. We'll check the standings and the schedule next. All right, from the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate. The variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings. Instantly. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. Get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All righty, 119-110 victory for the Knicks. Let's check those standings. As we said, the Knicks are in third in the Eastern Conference after their win today. They're 28-16 at the moment, 2 back of the Celtics, 8.5 back of the Cavs. Now the Hawks are in the 6th spot. Again, 3 versus 6 in that first round. The Hawks are 22-20. They are 5 back of the Knicks, 13.5 behind the Cavaliers. More importantly, however, the Magic and the Hawks are tied 6-7 with the Heat just a half game back of them. So Hawks, Magic, Heat, and Pistons, all of those teams separated by a half game. It is going to be an absolute dogfight down the stretch of the regular season, specifically at the bottom of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Really amazing stuff. Our daily check of the 2 best teams in the NBA pulling away. Cavs 35-6, Thunder 35-7. They're playing 8:50 basketball, are the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, now we check the schedule as we do at this point every single postcast. Alternating wins and losses, as we told you. The last time the Knicks won 2 in a row, well, it was the 9th game of their 9-game win streak. So they won their 8th and 9th in a row, and they have not won back-to-back since. Alternating wins and losses all the way back to early January. All right. Tomorrow night is not an MSG game. It's in Brooklyn. That is a TNT game. So take note there. In Brooklyn, before the Knicks return home after their brief subway ride, if you will. The 5-game homestand we've been looking forward to for some time, that will kick off on Saturday. So the Knicks will play on Tuesday, with some time off after that. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the Knicks will not play. They will play on Saturday against Sacramento at the Garden. Now, the second of their 5-game homestands in 2025 will commence on Saturday, as we said, with all 5 games against the Western Conference teams. Sacramento, Memphis, Denver, the Lakers, and Houston. By the way, we told you there's going to be plenty of home games in the second half of the season for the Knicks. They were top heavy with road games in the first half. They'll be top heavy with home games in the second half. However, they were top heavy in the first half with lesser teams. First division teams are now on the come for the Knicks. Specifically, well, let's run through them in this 5-game homestand. As we said, Sacramento, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, and Houston. No slouches there. Then Toronto, Boston, Indiana, Atlanta again, Chicago, Cleveland, Boston. Really, the stiff competition is right in front of the Knicks, and it will not go away anytime soon, deep into February, perhaps even into March, and that's when things get real interesting. All right, again, the Knicks have not won 2 in a row since January 1st, the final game of their 9-game win streak. And then, of course, they lost 3 in a row beginning in Oklahoma City. That was way back in early January. All right, the Knicks are now 4-6 in their last 10, 3-4 in their last 7 at home. So before you freak out, numbers aren't good. However, the Knicks are in the same spot in the standings they were before this latest stretch of so-so basketball. Again, 4-6 in their last 10, 3-4 in their last 7 at home. And as we said, after the Brooklyn game on Tuesday, 7:30 tip time, by the way, from Barclays, the Knicks will have 5 more home games. They don't travel until February. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. All right, that'll wrap up this show. Before we get out of here, let's tell you some goods. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. Also want to mention Gavin Shaw and Alex Wolf, the All-Stars over at Locked On Knicks. The best. They handle all the stuff again at Locked On Knicks. So follow, subscribe, and enjoy. 119-110, your final score, as the Knicks get 34 from Jalen Brunson. What else is new? He has now scored at least 30 in 15 games. Folks, the Knicks have played 44 games. A third of them, he's put up at least 30. And as a Knick, he's pumped in at least 30 68 times. An amazing Knick, an amazing performance, and it should be an amazing second half for Jalen Brunson and the rest of his teammates. Playoff-like atmosphere tonight at the Garden on MLK Day makes it even more special. 119-110, 34 from Brunson, 26 from Bridges, 14 from Josh Hart, and the Knicks win it and improve to 28-16 on the season.